I've summed up my 5 takeaways and thoughts about this book in this video. I highly recommend you to read the original book of the author. Please share with me your opinion about this book in the comments below. A Pragmatist's Guide to Leveraged Finance by Robert Kricheff is an informative and practical book that provides readers with an insider's perspective on the world of leveraged finance. The author draws upon his extensive experience in the industry to offer a comprehensive overview of the key concepts and practices that are essential for success in this field. The book is divided into 4 parts, each of which focuses on a different aspect of leveraged finance. Part 1 introduces the reader to the basics of leveraged finance, including its definition, history, and various stakeholders. Part 2 dives deeper into the mechanics of leveraged finance transactions, discussing topics such as capital structures, credit agreements, and bond covenants. Part 3 covers the key players in the leveraged finance market, including private equity firms, hedge funds, and institutional investors. Finally, Part 4 provides practical advice and insights for those seeking to succeed in the world of leveraged finance, including tips on deal sourcing, due diligence, and negotiation. One of the things I appreciate about this book is its focus on pragmatism. Rather than getting bogged down in theoretical discussions or abstract concepts, the author provides practical advice and real-world examples that can be applied directly to one's work in the field. At the same time, the book does not shy away from the complexities and nuances of leveraged finance, and the author is careful to provide a balanced and nuanced perspective on the various issues and challenges that arise. Overall, A Pragmatist's Guide to Leveraged Finance is an excellent resource for anyone working in or interested in the field of leveraged finance. Whether you are a seasoned professional looking to brush up on your skills or a newcomer seeking to learn the basics, this book is sure to provide valuable insights and practical guidance. Point 1 in A Pragmatist's Guide to Leveraged Finance highlights the importance of understanding the various stakeholders involved in the field of leveraged finance. These stakeholders include private equity firms, hedge funds, institutional investors, and others. Private equity firms are one of the main players in leveraged finance, as they provide the capital needed for leveraged buyouts and other transactions. They often work with investment banks to structure and execute these transactions. Hedge funds are also involved in leveraged finance, as they may invest in leveraged loans or bonds issued by companies involved in leveraged finance transactions. They may also provide financing for these transactions. Institutional investors, such as pension funds and insurance companies, are also important stakeholders in leveraged finance. They may invest in leveraged loans or bonds issued by companies involved in these transactions, providing the capital needed to complete the deals. Overall, understanding the various stakeholders involved in leveraged finance is crucial for anyone working in the field. Each stakeholder has a unique perspective and set of interests, and it is important to understand these in order to structure deals that work for everyone involved. Point 2 in A Pragmatist's Guide to Leveraged Finance highlights the importance of understanding the mechanics of leveraged finance transactions in order to be successful in the field. At its core, leveraged finance involves the use of debt to finance the acquisition or expansion of a business. This debt is typically structured as a leveraged loan or high-yield bond, and it is often provided by private equity firms or other institutional investors. One of the key concepts in leveraged finance is the idea of a capital structure, which refers to the mix of debt and equity financing used to fund a transaction. This structure can vary widely depending on the nature of the transaction and the parties involved, and it is important to understand the trade-offs involved in different capital structures in order to structure deals that work for everyone involved. Another important concept in leveraged finance is the credit agreement, which is the legal contract between the borrower and lender that sets out the terms of the loan or bond. This agreement typically includes a range of covenants, which are provisions that are designed to protect the lender's interests and ensure that the borrower meets certain financial and operational targets. Finally, It is important to understand the role of bond covenants in leveraged finance transactions. These covenants are designed to protect bondholders by imposing restrictions on the borrower's activities, such as limitations on capital expenditures or restrictions on the amount of debt that can be issued. It is important to understand these covenants and their implications in order to structure deals that work for both the borrower and the lender. Overall, understanding the mechanics of leveraged finance transactions is essential for anyone working in the field. By mastering these concepts, you can structure deals that work for all parties involved and ensure the success of your transactions. Point 3 in A Pragmatist's Guide to Leveraged Finance emphasizes the importance of due diligence in the leveraged finance process. Due diligence is the process of evaluating a potential transaction to ensure that it is viable and that the risks and opportunities associated with the transaction are properly understood. In leveraged finance, due diligence typically involves a range of activities, including financial analysis, market research, and legal review. Financial analysis involves reviewing the target company's financial statements and projections to understand its current financial condition and prospects for future growth. Market research involves assessing the competitive landscape and market trends to understand the target company's position within its industry. Legal review involves reviewing the target company's contracts, regulatory filings, and other legal documents to ensure that there are no issues that could impact the transaction. It is important to be thorough and diligent in conducting due diligence in order to avoid any surprises or unexpected issues down the road. By conducting a comprehensive evaluation of the transaction, you can identify potential risks and opportunities and ensure that you have a clear understanding of the transaction's potential upside and downside. Another important aspect of due diligence is understanding the motivations and goals of the parties involved in the transaction. This can help you identify potential areas of conflict and find ways to structure the transaction in a way that works for everyone involved. Overall, due diligence is a critical part of the leveraged finance process, and it is essential to be diligent, thorough, and strategic in conducting this evaluation. By doing so, you can ensure the success of your transaction and minimize the potential for unexpected issues or surprises. Point 4 in A Pragmatist's Guide to Leveraged Finance highlights the importance of effective communication and collaboration in the leveraged finance process. Given the complex nature of leveraged finance transactions, effective communication is critical to ensure that everyone involved is on the same page and working towards the same goals. One key aspect of effective communication in leveraged finance is clear and concise documentation. This includes everything from the credit agreement to the legal documents associated with the transaction. It is important to ensure that these documents are well organized, easy to understand, and clearly outline the terms of the transaction. Another important aspect of effective communication in leveraged finance is regular updates and progress reports. This helps to ensure that all parties involved are informed of the status of the transaction and any potential issues or challenges that may arise. Collaboration is also critical in leveraged finance, as it involves a range of stakeholders, including private equity firms, hedge funds, institutional investors, investment banks, and others. Each of these parties brings a unique set of skills and perspectives to the table, and it is important to leverage this expertise in order to structure deals that work for everyone involved. Overall, effective communication and collaboration are essential in the leveraged finance process. By working closely with all stakeholders and ensuring clear and concise communication throughout the process, you can ensure that your transactions are successful and that all parties involved achieve their goals. Point 5 in A Pragmatist's Guide to Leveraged Finance emphasizes the importance of risk management in the leveraged finance process. Given the high level of risk involved in leveraged finance transactions, effective risk management is critical to ensure that the transaction is successful and that all parties involved are able to achieve their goals. One key aspect of risk management in leveraged finance is proper structuring of the transaction. This involves carefully assessing the risks and rewards associated with the transaction and structuring it in a way that balances these factors. This might involve adjusting the debt-to-equity ratio, setting appropriate covenants, or choosing the right financing instruments to mitigate risk. Another important aspect of risk management in leveraged finance is monitoring the transaction and identifying potential risks as they arise. This involves regular financial analysis, market research, and legal review to ensure that the transaction remains viable and that all parties involved are able to achieve their goals. In addition to these proactive risk management strategies, it is also important to have contingency plans in place in case something does go wrong. This might involve setting up reserve funds, renegotiating the terms of the transaction, or taking other steps to mitigate any potential losses. Overall, effective risk management is critical in the leveraged finance process. By carefully assessing risks and structuring transactions in a way that balances these risks with the potential rewards, you can minimize the potential for unexpected issues and ensure that your transactions are successful. Thank you for your interest in this book. Please leave your feedback on these thoughts in the comments below, or just put a like on this video. It will help me stay motivated and make more videos like this. In the description of this video, you may find links where you can purchase this book.